Hello, and welcome to this episode of our Esports Next Trade Association LinkedIn Live. I am your host today, Megan Van Petten. It's always an honor to be here. We have some wonderful guests today from a variety of different from a variety of different areas of topics that will relate to esports. And I just wanted to welcome everyone. It's 12 o'clock Central Time here in Chicago. It's cold, it's sunny, it's a little snowy, but we are glad to be here during this our lunch hour. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah, well, that's us. I thought you were greeting our friends afar. All right.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Thank you, Ben, for coming. I should have asked Scott, how do we all sound? Should we do a sound check? Because we have a veteran from Shure here. We're going to start today. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you. How's my sound? That would be embarrassing if mine was the worst. All right, good. All right.
And the voice, the whole, when I talk to OGs in audio, I just remember to breathe, sit up straight. It's just always nice to have a Shure expert here to raise the bar. Thanks for joining us, Scott. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. I am a longtime recording engineer and musician. Have always liked music, but I guess getting into microphones. So I didn't know I would end up working for Shure, but after doing recording studio, then I actually did post-production audio, like TV shows, editing Bill Curtis's voice, for those, again, from Chicago, legendary. I think he was an inspiration, by the way, for Ron Burgundy. Bill Curtis kicks off that movie, just so you know, a little pride of Chicago there. But after doing that for a decade, then ended up working for Shure. And while myself and hopefully my colleague will join us along the way here too, Yuri is going to hopefully join us. Even though I have all this studio and live experience with the microphones that Shure's are known for, which I think we're going to talk about for a little bit here, it's interesting because my specialty now is that we need microphones for exactly what we're doing here. Getting on the internet, whether it's meetings for work or meetings among people, but in particular, Shure has excelled at picking up a room where multiple talkers are. I guess I am diving right in. Right now, we're kind of all in front of our device, and you only need one microphone to pick us up. But what about when you want to pick up a whole bunch of people in one room? And that can be kind of problematic. So Shure has excelled at that, and that's kind of my expertise now. But today, I think we're going to try to focus on more of the individual talker, but just know that knowledge, that problem makes us better at everything we do, whether it's a single mic or picking up literally a lecture hall in a university where, it's seating 200 people. How do you pick up them? It's an interesting challenge. But so my colleague Yuri did just join. Yuri, we're just getting started. I was just talking about my history with microphones and now tackling interesting, again, scenarios with multiple talkers. Would it be a good time to introduce Yuri then?
It's a great time to introduce you. Right. Yuri, welcome to the show. Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
We hear you well. How does it sound, Scott?
It's good enough. Good enough. He sounds great. Passes the bar. He passes even my bar. Yes.
Scott's extreme honesty comes out.
Yeah. Well, and again, before too long, we'll maybe talk about what microphones we're currently using.
Yeah.
I figure we'll come back to it. Yuri, why don't you introduce yourself?
So, hey everyone, my name is Yuri. I work along with Scott at Shure, and we are new members. I did actually attend an ESTA event almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago in the summer, I believe. I think I met a couple of folks out there. It was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun, and I made some really, really awesome connections there. Generally speaking, esports is something that's relatively new to Shure, but we do have a partnership with Las Vegas Inferno, who is the official esports Las Vegas team. So we're kind of making our inroads where we can, and getting to know people, and really trying our best to understand how the industry works as the industry kind of starts this industry is constantly changing all the time. So we're just trying to keep up with that as well.
Yeah, I remember meeting you at the Radisson.
Yeah.
And you were with Scott Fretters.
I was with Scott Fetters. Yes.
Yes.
Scott's a
I
great guy.
remember. Thank you. Great guy. For those of you that don't know, he's a local Chicagoan. And why we're here, like, I'm excited that Sure is born and raised in Chicago. You guys are in what town up north there?
Niles.
Niles. So I would think that Sure is happy with the esports industry and doing well as you're diving in and exploring a little. Like, I can't imagine that there's a lot of possibilities on the institution level and with everything that's happened in our our flexible hybrid working and Zoom meetings and opportunities like this, where the quality of this voice conversation is important. We all know that sometimes you pick up a podcast you want to listen to, and I can't listen to it if it doesn't have the quality sound. It just annoys me. So I would imagine Sure is having a good season.
Wow, this will be my first time saying this. You'll laugh. Sure has had a good century. We actually started in downtown Chicago 100 years ago in a couple of months, and then moved to Evanston, and then moved to Niles, where our headquarters are. But we're a global company, and yeah, for the most part, I've been making microphones the whole time, but also other audio products, and that's what I meant by this expertise in audio is brought to our mics and everything we do. Our mics now have audio processing built into them to sound better. And maybe we'll talk about that during this hour of like, well, what problems come up and what can you do about it? But yeah, it's, and our microphones reach into every corner. And again, maybe we can talk about that too.
Well, that was a great welcome from our friends at Shure. And we'll just move on to another friend here. Why don't we, and I am looking forward to hear about the Elvis Presley and Mr. and Mrs. Shure and more of that. But in the meanwhile, how about we go over to Matthew and you tell us why AT&T, Matt?
Awesome. I appreciate it, Megan. Yeah, thanks for having us on. We're super excited to be a part of this. My name is Matt Kuchar. I'm a channel manager at AT&T, living in Nashville, Tennessee, so a little bit more south than Chicago. I got some buddies in Chicago that are telling me it's 0 degrees and snowy up there today. I don't know if that's true or not, but
it's very cold right now.
Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, so I'm used to that. Sometimes I kind of miss it a little bit, but yeah. So AT&T's we're really thrilled to join this ESTA partner program. Our primary objective is to strengthen the business infrastructure within the esports industry. Right, we recognize the growth of esports and understand the critical importance of high speed and reliable connectivity. So we are dedicated to being an integral part of this growth, providing resources and exclusive access to our connectivity solutions to every member of the Esports Association. So, if there's any questions regarding your telecommunications needs, issues that you've been having, anything of that nature, whether it's mobility or wireline connectivity, I'm always happy to discuss and, just be a resource here for you.
Thank you, Matt. That's a wonderful introduction. And what I was most impressed was how much research you put into the space and how long you've been at AT&T and the good time that you're having there. So I feel like you're a real pillar to the company that you're representing. And we just are so excited to welcome you to our preferred partnership program, where all of our members are going to receive such amazing benefits. So thanks, Matt. We'll just go into our event pipe. Rebecca, let's hear about what's happening over there.
Hey, Meg. Great to be here today. Thank you so much. And Event Pipe has been a member with ESTA for a couple of years now. We are proud partners, and what EventPipe can do, or what we offer, is really housing technology. So of course, it's important to have great connectivity for conducting your esports, but we also support kind of the business side. So how do you ensure that when you have in-person events or that you're traveling, that you have sustainable revenue streams? One way you can do that is elevating the housing or hotel accommodation experience for your traveling individuals, which really is everybody, because we take these shows on the road, we take these scholastic teams to competitions, we drive really that economic impact. So that's really what EventPipe does, and we're proud and excited. We've got great new technology coming out in the quarter, so more to come when we launch that fully. But it's really been a great and proud opportunity for us to be with supporting ESTA.
It's been a solution. I've been doing events in the association space for a few decades, and it has been probably one of the most innovative solutions that I have seen in this season. I'm not going to say how long this season has been, Scott, but not as long as a century. But it's been a long season of me doing association events, and I love EventPipe. You make it so easy for me. I have saved so much money for our members, and it's been so easy to book the conference, book your room, get your jersey, get what you need, see how you could give back, what events you don't want to miss. It's just a housing technology made easy, and we really value your partnership and your support and everything you've done. Thank you for joining us today, Rebecca. I'm looking forward to you sharing more about the technology.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And our partner for our Esports Next this year, with one of the most sweetest names in the industry, I just love, Beside Events. And boy, if there's somebody that you ever want to hire and you really feel like they're right beside you, I can't speak enough about Ben Schlegel and just how you've been coming from such big shoulders and working at the sports commissioner over in Philly and Nerd Street Gamers, and you've been in this space for so long, and you have such great relationships, and we are just lucky to have you right beside us. So welcome to the show, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the intro. It is great to be here. So my name is Ben Schlegel. I'm the founder and executive producer of B-Side Events. And we're a full service events agency that helps brands, nonprofits, and public sector agencies basically bring their visions to life. So if you have a problem you need to solve in the live event or content space, I'm the person to call, and we'll work with you to bring that to life. I've been lucky enough. I've been in sports and entertainment for 15 years. The first 10 of those in traditional, what you would say more traditional sports and entertainment, where it's sporting events and concerts and family shows, and spent the 5 years after that as in the gaming space exclusively with Nerd Street, producing for a wide range of different publishers and events and brands, and launched B-Side Events here to kind of take my 15 years of experience and share it with clients and be a great partner and collaborator. So it's been great to be a part of ESTA the last few years and get to know the team and all the folks and see the growth that's happened at ESTA. It's been a real pleasure.
Well, it's been a really big pleasure to work with you. I'm trying to think who's been at Esports Next. About half of you. And Ben never skips a beat. He's calm, cool, collective, but he just sees things that I didn't. I remember last year we were building the stage and we were building it to spec, and Ben's like, right in the middle, we're half built. He's like, let's make it. Remember we adjusted that, Ben, and how good it looked right on site, and it saved the workers at least a few hours even. It was smart, and I just liked the tender love, care, the extra above and beyond. And you scale. You're doing events all over. He does events all over the nation, the world, or to my understanding. But I felt like I was his only client, and I still do, and that is really special to me. So let's get this party started. There's a lot of passion in the room. This is a great show. Maybe we can just, what are we thinking about? What are we talking about? How about we jump to Elvis Presley? I mean, how do we not hear that story? And what offices you guys have? I someday I want to bring my set and come check out what Scher's offices look like. But boy, what's going on with the Elvis Presley story around Scher? I've always wanted to hear that.
I was gonna say that I was just gonna say that the best office accessory is like right here. Actually,
Yes.
Yeah, there she is right here. So
no one can argue that.
Exactly. I don't know. I wasn't here for the Elvis thing, so I think Scott, that was.
Oh, we're just talking about that. It almost, I mean, often synonymous with Elvis is that microphone. There, when there was that stamps issued about the mic, there was 4 different stamps of Elvis, or one. Maybe I'm getting confused, but it featured the mic too, right? It's like one and the same. And what it had to do with, I'm going to go even a little bit more into the history of the mic. When the mic was invented in the 40s, microphones would pick up too much. They would pick up all around the mic, or at best 2 sides from the mic. And we came up with a unidirectional mic, or at least one that was roadworthy enough to be on stage and whatnot. And that allowed a microphone to be amplified even louder without getting feedback. So 2 things happened because of this. Live events could be louder, and then singers with a soft voice could be heard. So the crooners, started taking advantage of that mic, and they would get real close to the mic and sing real quiet. Whereas before, you had to project your voice. So Elvis is one of many crooners, but I'm thinking of the stereotypical where they even like tilt the mic and just sing right into the mic and all that. So it became kind of synonymous with their performance, the microphone. And so we had one of the best mics out at the time to do that. And even more interesting about the look of the mic, which let's go grab one. Let's take a look at this.
I love esports.
This is what's called the Elvis mic. Now, the original one was bigger, and then they made the smaller one. So the original was the 55. This is the 55S for, you guessed it, small. And smaller was better because even though it became a part of the performance, a part of the image, we still wanted it out of the way for TV, for being able to see the singer. But anyway, we still make the mic today, though we have changed what's on the inside to sound a little better than the technology of the 40s. But we're going to come back to that topic when we talk about the SM58. But anyway, this grill was meant to look like the grill of a car. So the mic is sort of even Art Deco-ish, all that. So that's kind of interesting too. But yeah, this has become the iconic look of a microphone. Today, if you want to signify a microphone, you show a picture of this and everyone knows what it is. So it's pretty cool that that's part of Scher's image and legacy, is that when you think of a mic, you think of this. Yuri, do you have an SM58 though? I'm surprised I don't. Oh yeah, I do. I've got something that looks like an SM58.
No, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I do.
I do. Okay, so this is not an SM58 because it's a wired version. Okay, Yuri's got one.
Yeah.
So let me know, Megan, if you want to talk any more about the Elvis mic. But when I say, hey, we kind of replaced, we put a better microphone inside this, but we still kept the look. The SM58 that came out in around 67 is the exact same invention for over 50 years. And that's amazing. What kind of technology, and it's still like the leading microphone sold around the world. And what the SM58 gave you, which was interesting, was the SM stands for studio microphone. But a lot like what the Elvis mic did, the SM58 was when big concerts started happening, like outdoors, arenas, eventually coliseums. And even though it was built for the studio, it ended up being the main live mic and still does to this day. So, so when you think of a microphone, you either think of this microphone or this microphone, typically, and they're both made by Shure. Anything to add?
And you see Shure all over the place in my world. I mean, they're definitely best in class. I just had a funny thing happen with the microphone where I was doing a show at the Apollo Theater, and I get the rider right, and I'm reading it, and the artist was coming from Africa, so there's some cultural and language barriers. And in the rider, it said clear microphone, and I'm thinking like they want like a transparent clear microphone, and I start like looking, I'm calling people. And I'm like, this seems like this has got to be a custom type thing for a one-off. Like, this is crazy. And it turns out they just wanted a clear sound, and they wanted a Shure microphone with clear sound. But once we figured that out, I'm like looking all over, calling vendors. I'm like, where do I get a clear microphone? And they just wanted a clear sounding Shure microphone at the end of the day. So I got a good kick out of that. And so did a bunch of the vendors as well, because they thought it was hilarious that I was calling and asking for that.
Noted.
Only you. Yeah, would go above and beyond to figure out a mic that you might not have heard of. Go ahead,
Right,
Scott.
so, well, our artist relations will take a 58 and make it all sorts of things to have bling and different colors and even your logo and all that. Have we considered a clear microphone, Yuri?
We have not. We have some translucent ones. Yeah, you reminded me, Scott. I think the best meeting I was ever at was right when I started. It was 3 years ago, right when I started at Shure, and I was somehow pulled into this meeting. I don't know how, but a debate went on because it was right before the Super Bowl, and Snoop Dogg had asked for a gold SM58 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, and so the main theme of the meeting was us going back and forth about how we can get one to him in 2 weeks and make it work, which is.
I think you did.
We did, yeah. He was asking for the gold SM58, yeah.
I remember seeing it because he had the FaZe Clan necklace on. Yeah. And, oh my gosh, that was.
Scott's point, our artist relations department delivered, and they got it to him. So that was. I have no idea why I was at that meeting, but it was great to listen and see some, kind of how the sausage was made behind the scenes with artist relations. So that was great.
I remember that show. Yeah. That was great. Good for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. We have a lot of fun. We do, like, obviously we're known, our company's known for our microphones, but we actually have just as much business in our wireless as we do with our microphones, which, the wireless is almost always behind the scenes, so no one ever talks about it. But like that's probably a good 90 to 95% of my work is just microphones and wireless over and over and over again. And to Scott's point, like it feels good to work for a 100-year-old company. I mean, our friend at AT&T can probably agree to that. There's definitely been some changes at AT&T, but they've been around for a very, very long time. Like we're still coming up with new stuff. Like, I don't want to say too much about the microphone that I'm talking into right now because I can't talk about it until July. So hopefully it sounds good. But we're still coming out with new stuff. I've got a brand new mic right here. We just came out with. I was just in Las Vegas at CES a week ago, and we debuted this microphone, which is going to be, we're hoping to put into the gaming market quite heavily. Actually, let me see if.
You know what I think I like about it? It looks light. Like you're flinging it around.
Yeah, it's pretty light. I mean, we made it heavier than it has to be because we want it to feel, they're very sturdy, but there's one thing about being sturdy. There's another one about feeling sturdy. So it's definitely, can you hear me okay in this microphone now?
Yeah. Do me a favor, Yuri, just hold it upside down. And I'm going to add to the list of famous Shure mics. Now, this isn't the iconic Shure mic, but the SM7 has been a DJ mic for like 40 years, okay? And it was even used by Michael Jackson on Thriller, even though it was meant to be this kind of broadcast mic. And I think we've made this public. I know we have. The mic almost ran its course and was almost going to get discontinued because we were only selling so many of them. And then the pandemic happened and podcasting happened. And now it's one of our top selling mics. And I think it's also very well recognized. Again, Yuri, if you hold it upside down, whether it's the SM7 or this is a USB version called the MV7. Also,
sorry, my boom pole is being used by a camera right now, which is why this is not hanging.
Perhaps if you think of a microphone, you think of one of those 3 microphones, which are still all made by Shure.
Well, it would behoove me not to mention, and Johanna's here if you want to put a link to consider an ad in our magazine that comes out once a year.
Mhm.
This year, we'll be doing Esports Next at DreamHack alongside the show. And a copy of the magazine will be going out to all of the attendees. And not only are you already listed in the magazine, but you might want to consider an ad. They're wonderful keepsakes. These are the last 2 years.
That's great.
We can also put a link to the magazine, our latest edition that we just delivered electronically a few weeks ago. But that, that's newsworthy. That's interesting. Not that everything isn't, but
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that you guys debuted that at CES, and I try to keep up with things.
Absolutely.
And it looks cool. Like, I wouldn't mind adding that to my desk. I don't have a microphone.
It is cool. Let me see if I can change the color. It's kind of bright. Charles just made a comment about esports business major from Drexel. Nice to meet you, Charles.
Hi, Charles.
Hey,
I was actually
Yuri?
at Drexel a few months ago, doing a wireless presentation. So
I want to let Yuri talk some more, but I wanted everyone to know that you've been hearing me, and I guess I'm going to get louder as you're through another Shure microphone, and this was specifically made for gaming. So Yuri, I wanted to let you know. So you've been hearing me through an MV6, not an MV7, but I'm my voice. I'm about a foot away from this microphone. That's what you've been hearing.
That's awesome. It sounds great. Yeah, this microphone, which I'm much closer to it, but I don't have to be. I made this purple, but it's kind of hard to see right now because it's too bright. But yeah, this is the one that we released at CES, and the big thing about this is the first microphone of its kind that has a combo input on the back. So this is actually a microphone and an interface.
That's cool.
You can add a second microphone or an instrument or whatever you want and plug it into the back, and it's super cool.
And then they get combined so that your one USB cable to your wherever it's going.
Exactly, you get two channels.
Mic and an additional thing without you having to know how to mix or whatever.
Yeah, and it's because it's USB-C. It also works with iPad Pro and iPhone and all that stuff as well.
Could you guys imagine Ben and Rebecca if you were like waiting in the car and they ran into Radio Shack? Like how long that would take? I'll be right back.
I'll make sure I'll bring my book.
Exactly.
Scott, that actually gives me a really good idea. I'm going to take this microphone, plug it into my phone, and then plug a second mic in there, and we're going to do interviews in the car. We're just going to sit in the back of an Uber and do two-person interviews directly to the phone.
You know, Rebecca and I are going to be at Midwest Battleground, an event next month in Lisle, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just asked to do a broadcast. I wonder if we should like test out the microphones and do a broadcast. Yeah, like why don't we? It's a great collegiate regional event.
Oh my gosh, and I can come and watch people play Super Smash Brothers?
Yes, you can for the second year in a row. It's a great event. And not only that, you guys can bring some of your favorite talent. I don't have to be the host. But I will tell you guys this. Every time I go to a show anywhere, I lose my equipment. I end up with nothing. So don't loan me anything. You have to give me. Somebody gets my microphone. Somebody gets everything. But I don't know how it happens. But I literally come home and I don't have anything left. I don't know if that's like an occupational hazard for a broadcaster, but it's a true story. We'll be there. We'll be having a happy hour. And we'll be having a coffee connection. Johanna, if you want to just like drop those links in, Johanna's like the wizard behind the scene here. I mentioned that because I can't wait until like things are a little easy, like what you were just showing with that adapter plug. You know, like when can it just be where I can fit this in my backpack? I know it's mine. I take it when I go, and it's like smaller and easier because I've been doing portable broadcasting and the Esports Next podcast on the road here and there. So I'm not asking for you guys to solve that, but just a thought.
No, we have an answer to that. I just don't have it with me right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, Yuri? I might have it. What are you looking for?
The MB88 Plus.
Sure.
Which we're well, I can't say. There's going to be an update to it in March that I can't talk about it yet. But
okay.
But maybe I can bring it to that event.
But I think it's interesting, right? We all talk about like identifying these problems, or how do we make it easier and convenient? And when we think about the esports community, and with Alan or Elijah or Charles, jump in and share what you see as the next evolution of the industry, because it's all about coming together and sharing these, being vulnerable and saying, this is where I struggle, or this is where I'm at in my space, and how can I solve this problem? Or do you know somebody? And I think that's where, like, it's so interesting just to hear, Meg, you say, this is what's going on. And all of a sudden we have a solution that's ready to go. And then it's also like, even from an event pipe standpoint, right? We are not a legacy company like AT&T or Shure. We are young. We are new. We are always listening to solve the next problem or identify a faster, easier way to do it, so that our time is really being spent making those connections, building relationships, and we're not stuck doing clicking. We're letting the automation really lean in. So I had to share, because this is exactly what our industry, the esports industry, is creating, and it's so fun.
It is fun. And you know what I was just thinking? I haven't seen a Radio Shack store in like forever. Do they even have them anymore? No?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, they are gone.
I think
Are
they're
they
gone.
really? Is it goodbye to Radio Shack for good?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard
So now
rumors
what?
that there might be opening up a couple of like legacy Radio Shack stores as like a test pilot, but I haven't, like, I don't know how official that is or how true that is.
Well, that would be cool.
Scott, you knew my brother, my older brother. So, I mean, I've spent a lot of time at Radio Shack, way more than I should. Yes. If I wanted to go to the store, that's where I ended up. But I kind of, grew to like it. I became, what are you thinking, Ben?
No, I mean, it's in our world, like, right, you're on the road and something breaks. Like, I'm like, where's the nearest guitar center? Where's this? Like, right.
Yeah.
I'm you need to have those spots where you can go and kind of bail yourself out. And a specialty spot like Radio Shack usually has some things that maybe not everybody else has.
Well,
there it is. Optimus just saying, there's my Radio Shack cassette deck. Just saying.
And Matt, like, what kind of connectivity do you provide when people are on the road, or I even think about AT&T, because you have some of the emergency services contracts with the government. And so tell us more about how AT&T helps.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I think connectivity on the go is especially crucial for this space. So whether that's connecting to our 5G network, I actually was just reading through some stuff, and we now have more than 300 million people in the U.S. that are covered by our AT&T 5G. So for these mobile events that are constantly being put on in this space, that is something that you'll be able to have hotspots. You'll be able to have tablets for data. You'll be able to have anything of that nature, mobile laptops, all that, so you can stream your gaming, so you could stream events, or if it's the company that's putting on events, you'll be able to stay connected with everybody in your business. So then that way the communication is great and you can deliver on these events and make sure that everything is running smoothly, right? And that's a great question. Events is especially where high speed is needed. Especially as these are getting put on across the country throughout the year, right? Low latency, high speed, reliable and secure networks. That's what the gaming industry is looking for, and that's what we're here to provide for you.
And it is amazing, like, how far it's come. I was just talking to somebody the other day. We were talking about, like, I don't want to age myself here, but some of the first PCs we were gaming on back in like 95 and 96. And, I working in esports, sometimes they look at me as like, I'm like the old guy. And I'm like, no, like I walk so you could run. Like you get all these great connections now and all this technology. And, we were getting kicked off or lagging nonstop and trying to figure it out. So it's really incredible.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Yuri mentioned that earlier. We've been around a long time, but the investment that we're making into our infrastructure now is huge. So even though we've been around a long time, it just keeps getting better because of our investments, so.
I remember distinctly when I got my cell phone. I mean, this was a long time ago. And there was a price difference at the time to go with AT&T. And I was with my other brother, and I was like, well, the price difference. And he's like, it's AT&T. And I was like, so he's a fireman. And I was like, so it's okay. Like, I don't need to go with AT&T. And he's like, well, do you want service when you're on the road?
Yeah,
and I was like,
we're the number one telecom provider. So, we're very proud of that. And you even mentioned our FirstNet earlier. That's something that we've also been very involved in. That's our priority network for all of our first responders. So,
is that it? Because
yeah,
it wasn't a big price difference, but there was a difference, and he was with me at the point of purchase, and he's like, it's a guarantee. You'll get connected, and you'll have connection, so you'll be safe. And that was it. And I've just stayed with AT&T, so it was delightful when you reached out, because it does. I like to be true to the brands that are our members.
Yeah,
so
we appreciate that.
Very easy. Yes. So what's new with 5G besides 5G? Is it everywhere now? Like, what can we talk about?
Yeah, no, I think our coverage is just really expanding. So the limits to our solutions are just dwindling down, right? We have connectivity solutions. So we have a 22-state wireline footprint. But outside of that, we can deliver wireless solutions. So there's always something that we can fall back on that I'm confident that we'd be able to, run a successful event, either utilizing our wireline infrastructure or our wireless infrastructure. So I think that's really what's new, and what we want to focus on is that investment into the network. And that's what we've really just been focusing on for the past couple of years, is what we do best: mobility and wireline. And I think that's something that we can prove and bring to the esports world.
Very cool. We hope you can come to Esports Next. I know you don't get out much, but down the road, it'll be great to meet you. We'll be there in May, end of May, 21st, 22nd, at the Omni. That's a soft save the date, attached to the convention center for DreamHack. And look at you guys typing that, save the date in there. Don't want to miss it.
Get on the calendars.
Yeah, we haven't launched yet, so it's been really exciting to partner with the DreamHack Festival and tournament, and to really showcase esports for our community, the business to business community, and more to come on that, but we'll just keep pushing, Matt, to get you there.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
And I think too, one of the things today too with this group on, and with esports so much, right? There's the live event portion of it, and there's the online event portion of it. And this is kind of a do as I say and not as I do, as I'm sitting here like backlit with no because I'm out of my office, but right, like so much business is being done online these days, and gaming, and right, all these content creation like creators and the things you can do that are so interesting, and like how important things like solid internet connection, like that's the first thing I'm asking. Or if you want to upgrade your at home kind of rig, whether you're just taking meetings or you're creating content, right, investing in a good microphone and a better camera and lighting yourself properly can like really set yourself apart, right, from everybody else, and give you that professional look for you can take it as far as you want to take it, but it doesn't have to be this big intimidating thing. So, I think with some of the partners that are on here today, right, like it's super important to kind of reinforce of what they're doing here in this digital space. decentralize and bring better equipment to everybody.
And yeah, who would ever like go back? I mean, I remember when there was dial-up, literally. So yeah, in the day, who would ever go back?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Does anybody else here remember dial-up?
100%.
Okay. And we were excited when we dialed up. And then when we got fast internet, it was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Where now I would just never, I mean, it's just unacceptable. You can't say like, I mean, obviously, you were having a hard time getting on, Yuri. But here and there you'll have a glitch, but you want to consistently, show up professionally. So it's great to have these old traditional amazing companies part of our community supporting us year after year. So yeah, we couldn't be more privileged, and that was well said, Ben. And
yeah, I totally agree. Well said, Ben.
I can give a customer testament. Just like getting faster speeds or whatever, something that's passed for me is reliability. And I honestly use AT&T. I got fiber. I haven't thought about worrying about dropping off in years, ever since I switched, actually. I mean, it's a true story. I don't know if it has to do with living in Chicago or what, but
yeah,
man, that's a dated thing for me now, like not having reliable internet.
Fiber.
Yeah, and that's what we aim to do. It's that's that investment, especially in being in these large cities where a lot of these events are happening, a lot of these businesses are ran. We have real high prioritization around, cities like Chicago, right? So I really appreciate that testament there.
Well, this has been a great show. We don't have to take the whole hour, but I wouldn't mind doing a round robin to see what anybody else would like to talk about. I mean, no pressure. I'm afraid to ask our Sure friends because we might for sure go the full hour.
Yeah.
Well, as a live events, person myself, I mean, I would love to hear a little bit about EventPipe, and some of the details around kind of how that works. And right, I'm always thinking of solutions I can bring different clients and customers and whatnot. And it'd be great to hear a little bit more about what you all have going on.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Thanks for asking. Well, EventPipe really was born out of a need. We when you think about hosting large in-person events, right, and you really want to bring people together, that experience really starts when that person decides they're going to attend the event. So they're traveling, their travel arrangements, their customer experience. And so EventPipe really was created because there's this industry need of how can we enhance the attendees' experience before they even attend the event. And so a large part of that is their hotel experience, making the reservation, the customer service, and then how do you also ensure that all parties involved execute their commitment? So how do you go out and secure hotel inventory room blocks that are going to be at a desirable price point? How do you manage the reservation process where you can expose your sponsors to your travelers before they've even thought about or are in the process of making their travel arrangements? So EventPipe has really created this robust platform where individuals can it's an ecosystem that they operate all of their accommodations, housing for their events, whether it's one room block at one hotel or, an entire citywide with multiple room blocks. And so that allows the reservations to exist in our platform. The hotels will go in, get all of their information. You can actually use the platform to issue the requests for proposals, as well as when you invoice, if there are any additional expenses added to the hotel rooms, So it's a really great platform to generate revenue for inside this space and really make it a sustainable revenue stream for event organizers, because you think about when someone's traveling, what's usually their biggest expense? Not necessarily going to the event, but getting to the event or staying during the event. And so how do we ensure that the attendees experience is optimized and maximized? So that's really what EventPipe does. And then you have to take it to the next level, which I'll give you a little snapshot in, is how do we solve the next problem of, I don't need a hotel room block. I don't want to deal with all of that, but I still want to ensure my customer, my attendee has a great experience. And so we actually have hotel reservation management technology that we're launching that will allow organizers to still give a reservation experience without having to go to a hotel and hold a hotel room block. So there's a lot more beyond an entire industry, an entire tech stack that we use to support the data collection, the customer profile for all of these live events.
Interesting.
Did you hear that, Ben?
Yeah.
That they could do a room block without doing a room block. So no risk.
Yeah, that's super interesting. So like when you go, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask a follow-up here because you piqued my interest. But when you go onto a conference website and they say like, here's our partner hotel, like, is that where kind of EventPipe comes into the consumer? Like they go on and they're kind of registering with EventPipe, or are they registering directly with the hotel? I just want to make sure it
really sits in between.
Okay.
So because typically when we're engaging, we think about COVID, we think about the pandemic, what happened to the travel industry. I mean, I worked through the travel industry. I probably have survivor's guilt as a hotelier, as a former hotelier. And so EventPipe really allows, it sits in between the hotel and the event organizer, where the event attendee is making their hotel reservation on the EventPipe platform. So now you have created this ecosystem where everybody can look in and see what's happening from a hotel reservation standpoint. So you can know who's attending, know who's making a hotel reservation. And then we think back to like the economic impact of that overall in-person event. How much revenue are we driving into that destination? And a bigger piece of that comes from their hotel expense.
Got it. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that clarification. Super helpful. Love it.
I don't think anybody's doing that. And I'll just go in further to say, like, from an event organizer OG, I don't even do a contract anymore without Rebecca looking at it, because she's my account rep, and I've done hotel contracts for 20 years. And I didn't even know what I don't even know, because things are changing now. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing, which, I'm sure lends itself to this whole community on this show right here, is esports is events. People are in charge of these tournaments all over the world that didn't even think they'd be in event leadership. So, I didn't think I'd have to be hauling broadcast equipment across town. Like I'm invited to the Midwest Battleground, and Igor said, "Are you bringing your show?" I'm like, "Oh Jesus!" Now I have to go find some technology. So times have changed.
And Meg, you make it such a good point. Like, as an event organizer in this sports space, in this esports space, we're thinking about the event, right? But there is this whole other accommodations, housing, hotel space that really should be incorporated into the attendee experience. So how do we create in an efficient space where you can automate certain layers or lean into technology to increase efficiency, increase and expose your customers, and like you don't actually have to do a lot of work. You just have to participate in using technology, and you still can reap all the benefits of it without making it a top priority, because you're just trying to actually execute the event.
Right.
Yeah. It's a great tool, because I know when I'm planning events, and I'm sure other folks are too, I'm like, all right, what can I kind of offload or simplify or make sure I know is right? And then, because I know I'm going to have trouble in this area, or I'm going to have to really focus in this area. So, being able to leverage a tool like that, right, that frees me up to maybe have to give me time to put more focus in another area where I know there's maybe some more road bumps.
Yeah, and we really take a consultative approach to our partners. Like Meg said, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I've done enough hotel contracts that I can participate in the conversation and be a friend, be a helping partner. Because I believe, Elijah put in here, yes, I played some rugby, and I believe that everybody wins, or if somebody loses, everybody loses. And so that's where we just come into the environment and talk about how to support our partnerships. We're much more beyond the transaction.
Good question, Ben. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks
He's
for the
the
info.
best. Yeah, and yeah, we're all in this together. I mean, that's the whole show is, we welcome you wholeheartedly as new and renewed members, and we just love doing these LinkedIn Lives and just sharing. For those of you that haven't done a member feature, I highly encourage it. Our community really wants to know each other and how we can help each other. I mean, I can see like light bulbs going off even with each other, like AT&T, like, what do you want to do at the point of, event
Yep.
commitment in contract?
You got that right, Meg. My wheels are turning.
I saw that. Like, do we want to order our internet right here on the EventPipe platform while Ben is doing the contract? And do we need a broadcast? Yes. So I would say it's a little bit, lots of particles. What were you going to say, Ben? I mean, it's esports. It's everything.
Yeah. There's so much here. I mean, I have a question too for like the shirt crew over there. So I need to upgrade my microphone, right, at home that I use. Like, what's a good, maybe entry level to middle level, like microphone that I should be looking for? And like, what things should I look for? Obviously, Shure.
You get what you pay for. I'm going to say that. Yuri, take it from there.
Well said, like what my brother said.
Okay. Because entry level could mean what, a $20 microphone? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, but
well, you're the pros. Give me the recommendation, right? Let's say I want, we're talking streaming, business meetings.
You're not going to lose it, right?
Not going to lose it. Not $20. Let's at least start in like the $100 to $200 range.
So are you looking like USB directly to your computer?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a reason I'm asking, because we have one. So we have a microphone that looks just like this, that just has a microphone output. So in that case, that one starts at about $170. We also have what Scott just put up on the screen, the MB6, which is actually our newest gaming microphone. That is about $149, I believe, and it is awesome. So that whole idea behind that microphone is that you just plug it in, and you don't have to do. There's only one button on the microphone, which is a mute button. But then our app that is that you can use with the microphone, you don't have to use it, but you can, has all sorts of other really, really cool processing to make it sound just unbelievably good. And once you set it in the app, you leave the app, you can use it in Teams, you can use it in StreamYard, you can use it on Zoom or whatever, and it just sounds really, really killer for $150.
Well, a killer feature is trying to block out background noise.
Exactly. And noise reduction is one of the features, like it works in tandem essentially with whatever other noise reduction you have. Like I know StreamYard has noise reduction, and so does Teams, and so does Zoom. But then we also have it built onto the mic itself, which is super, super cool. Okay.
All right. I've been in the market, so I'm trying to figure this out here at the moment.
So I would say the most important thing, other than like the cool technology that comes into the microphone, is that a lot of our microphones that we make for conferencing, for gaming, for whatever, are dynamic microphones, and that's on purpose. I'm not going to get into the technical details between the difference between dynamic and condensers. Most of our competitors have condenser microphones, which tend to be a little bit more sensitive. The studios use condenser microphones a lot, but studios have very, very nice environments to record things. Everything's dry, you have absorption all over the place, all that good stuff. If you're in your room, or if you're in your kitchen or your living room, or if you're moving around from place to place a lot, you can't control your environment. And for that, dynamic microphones are actually better because they kind of require you to be closer. Like you can see that I'm holding it kind of right in front of my face. It doesn't have to be. I can hold it back here and it'll be okay. But these force you to be a little bit closer to the microphone so they get more of you and less of the space. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about when they buy microphones, and then they get disappointed in the results when they set it up.
I just want to underscore, yeah, dynamic does pick up less of the room and more of this, but you don't have to be right up on it. Like,
Right.
so I'm about a foot away. But then again, maybe you do want to be right up on it because
Exactly.
then you get that sound, right? And if you want to be impressive, if you want to sound like a DJ or a podcaster, then by all means, get right into that mic.
I can tell the
like
difference as soon as I get on the meeting with somebody that has one, like properly, right? And I'm like, yeah, they're not using their computer mic or their earbuds or whatever.
I'll try this really quickly. I'm going to go to my settings. I hope this doesn't cause a technical issue, but I'm going to switch the mic from the MV6 to just my built-in laptop mic. All right. So oh, maybe you can't do it during a show. It didn't let me do it. Anyway, I was going to show you. That's what I do for a living. I demo this sort of stuff. But I think you would hear more of the room. And maybe my voice got a little thinner or what have you. But I think, again, you get what you pay for. It's with this built-in technology too, and I'm not trying to be a salesperson here. I'm really trying to give advice. It really makes a difference.
And you know what I'm hearing from everyone? This isn't sales. It's really sharing, and sharing with a heck of a lot of passion. And that, that is very evident from everybody that has pulled this show together and made it a great show. Ben, thank you for your inclusiveness and asking such caring, thoughtful questions. You are somebody that is always more value beside me. I will say that, beside events for all of you. Catch the plug. And Rebecca, thank you for helping us with your wonderful technology and taking my texts during nights and weekends while I'm negotiating contracts. We look forward to another great year with you at Esports Next. And Matt, we imagine that you're probably laying some fiber to the curb in some very fancy state. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. And for sure, our guys, we had to be very careful that you didn't steal the show because it's such an interesting topic to play with microphones. We do invite everyone to fill out a form to be on Esports Connected so we can hear about your story and the history of your companies. We'd love to hear more. And what's coming, the next event is the Chicago chapter. Midwest Battleground is within the next few weeks. I don't have the exact date handy, but it's right here. The link, it's in Lisle, Illinois, and it's open to all members. The Chicago chapter and Event Pipe is hosting, is hosting a coffee connection and a happy hour with hors d'oeuvres and cocktails. We're going to be able to showcase our community of esports alongside governance and some brands and some businesses and all sorts of fun that Igor Blevik, our DuPage County Sports Commissioner, has coordinated with his team over there at the Sports Commission. I'm your host, Megan Van Petten. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. That's just so kind, so kind. I hope to see you all here in Chicago in the next couple of weeks. And if I don't, please join us at Esports Next. It's our annual big tent party. And we're alongside, the Super Bowl of Esports DreamHack. It's an honor to work with them. We are your business-to-business trade association for esports, and we are glad to be here. And y'all have about 30 seconds to get to your next event. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks a lot, Scott. It was great to see you. I hope you remember me and my brother now.
Well, I thought you said you were going to send me a picture, or I don't know if you can.
I know. I haven't. I owe you. Do I have your cell or? Oh, you know what? I did.